Good morning. Welcome to Yo, I'm Alive, Morning Wellness with Wadulisi. I'm Wadulisi, aka Trishann Williams, and I like to start all my groups with a morning with a wellness exercise. It's a relaxation exercise. It's a simple breathing exercise. Most of you probably have done it a million times before, but I feel that it works very well in my groups. So for this exercise, we inhale good vibes and we exhale bad vibes. And as we inhale, we lift our arms, and as we exhale, we lower them. And we also, as we inhale, we kind of we shout out some vibes that we want in the universe that we want to bring to our lives. And as we exhale, we shout out the bad vibes that we want to let go of. So, what is a vibe? So, a vibe basically is your emotional state. It's also a feeling, and a hunch or feeling that you get from a situation, or sometimes a person. People say, I got a good vibe, you have a good connection, or they say sometimes we have a bad vibe, it just doesn't work for us. So let's start this exercise. It's really kind of simple. It's just kind of it's a great way of centering yourself. I do it a couple of times in the morning. The start of my day, it centers me. It helps me connect to my spiritual center, and it also gives me an opportunity to plan my day. What am I looking for to get out of this day? So let's start. For instance, ready? So we're going to start with an inhale. And we're going to inhale. For me, I'm going to shout out. I always shout out love, peace, joy, acceptance, wellness, good health. And I exhale, and I push out bad vibes, hate, stress, anxiety, confusion, poor health. I'm going to inhale. Again, I'm going to inhale good, beauty, calm, centeredness, acceptance, community, cooperation. I'm going to push out disunity, disorganization, hate, combativeness. I'm going to bad health. This is where you might, if you might push out for cancer, fibroids, whatever's going on in your life, poor nutrition. Some people inhale money, success, growth, and development. Exhale substance abuse, addiction, whatever, wherever you're at. So for you, for everyone, this is a personal exercise. It's what's going on inside of you. So we inhale again, positive vibes. For me, love, peace, joy, wellness, emotional health, acceptance. Exhale rejection, time stress, anxiety, disorder, confusion, hate, gossip. So I hope that this is a exercise that you will incorporate into your life, because I find that it's very centering and powerful. Again, welcome to Yo, I'm Alive, Morning Wellness with Wadulisi. I am your hostess, Wadulisi. Let's begin. And now for a commercial break. So, what do we mean by positive self talk? Most people have heard positive affirmations, positive quotes from celebrities and famous persons and motivational speakers, or notable persons. Like, for instance, Maya Angelou's quote, I rise from her award winning poem, is very, very well known. So, positive self-talk is like that. It's feeding yourself, your mind, your body, your soul positive affirmations through speaking. So you basically speak positive things to yourself. You might also incorporate quotes from motivational persons in your self-talk, but largely it's about you motivating yourself and not relying on other person's quotes. So some people you might use self-talk is talking out loud, but some people also use journaling as part of their positive self-talk to help them have a kind of a powerful experience building their self-esteem. So for instance, an example of positive self-talk might be me looking in the mirror saying, you got it going on, girl, and saying that to myself, as a positive affirming statement to build my self-esteem. So I want to talk a little bit about positive self-talk, but first I want to step back and talk a little bit about negative self-talk. So I'm going to disclose. I'm going to use myself as an example of negative self-talk, and then we're going to get back to positive self-talk. So basically, I'm going to self-disclose and use myself as an example of negative self-talk. A lot of people who know me know that I don't like to say this now, but I used to always say I hate to drive. So I actually have a very embarrassing story about it. I didn't learn to drive till I was about 26 years of age, and it came about because I was basically embarrassed into driving. So I was 26 years old, working in Albany, New York, and it's kind of like pretty high-powered job, entry level kind of job. And on Thursdays it was you really had to Thursday was like a networking day, and everybody went out to dinner at the job with someone, as part of the social scene. So Albany, New York doesn't have a lot of public transportation, but it does have a bus. At least at that time, it had a bus line that ended around 10:30 or 11 o'clock was the last bus. So we had this Thursday tradition at my job where everybody would go out. So on Thursday we went out to like a dinner at the mall. There was like a restaurant outside the mall, and the mall closed at like 11 o'clock for the high school students. It closed at 11, and a lot of high school students would I think it closed at 10, and so they would at 10:30 they would be getting the last bus out to go home. So the restaurant stayed open till like midnight. So here I am, at this restaurant, and so at 10:30 I get up to go catch the bus, right? So you flash loser, loser across the screen. So at 10:30 I'm on the line waiting for the bus to go home because I hate to drive, and this is the last bus, and all the kids can't fit on it, and I'm feeling so ashamed because I have a seat and there are kids whose parents are going to worry about them because they can't fit on the bus to go home. And so that's what made me actually learn how to drive, because I was ashamed. And so then the other thing was, after I learned how to drive, I used to take refresher courses every other month, just to stay on top of it, because I just driving was so ridiculously stressful for me. Until finally, the driver of the company that was giving me the refresher courses said, "Look, lady, you don't need another course because basically you know how to drive." So I was totally self-defeating in my mind about driving. Okay, so you heard my negative, self-defeating attitude toward driving. Thanks for listening. It probably was even hard to hear the story of how self-defeating I was about driving. So now let's turn that negative experience into positive self-talk. So now, for instance, let's say they say, Wadulisi or Trish, you have to take a client to a certain location. You have to drive them there. So now, in positive self-talk, I look in myself in the mirror and I say, Wadulisi, you know you got this. You got this because, first of all, even your driving school educator told you you can drive, that you're good at it. You have taken so many refresher courses that I trust you. I trust you. I know you can get me there. You are probably more prepared than most people who have been driving for years. You have no accidents on your record. You're good at what you do. You got it. Don't worry. I have absolute trust in you. So now I'm going to give you another example of how positive self talk works. So let's try to imagine yourself as an African American male living in the 1960s in the segregated South under Jim Crow laws. Imagine yourself as a family man with a wife and 4 children. Now, in addition to facing disenfranchisement and intimidation, you're also facing the normal everyday pressures of married life, of family life, of being a father, of community life. So you wake up in the morning and you go to the mirror and you have to motivate yourself to survive this harsh times, this segregation, this disenfranchisement, this challenge to your manhood every day. Meanwhile, you want to keep your wife alive. You have financial pressures. You want to be a good father. You have emotional needs, and you have to meet the emotional needs of your children. So you might go to the mirror and you might think, what can I say to myself? What positive self-talk message can I give to myself that will motivate me to face this day? And you might go to the mirror and you might say, I have a dream. And you might be Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who with this positive self-talk revolutionized the South, the United States, and even the whole wide world.
Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. I say to you today, my friends, so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today I have a dream that one day down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, and every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is a faith that I go back to the South with.
I just want to take a moment to give a heartfelt Thank you to one of my heroes, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And I want to always thank him for his proud life, his heritage, our heritage, his legacy, all that he gave to me as a person, as an American person, as a person of color, as a human person. And I just wanted to say, I still love you. You're still remembered and you are still treasured, at least by me and clearly by more, but I want you to know in my heart for always. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Okay, so this is where I like to, in all my groups, I like to have a kind of um, a calming moment where we kind of like, especially after something heavy, we sit back and we relax. And usually at this time, I would play relaxing music. But it's getting so ridiculous on like YouTube and Facebook. If you even like, play like 5 notes of a song, you get kind of like, the SWAT team comes at you to kind of like, ask you, have you purchased that song and everything. Um, it's getting so scary. It's getting so scary. It's almost like Facebook, YouTube, ICE coming at you. For your song, your lyric rights. So this is it. So I don't want to take out the relaxation part, the music relaxation. So I said, later for all of this, I'm just gonna sing my own song. I'm gonna hum my own tune, and I'm like, is that okay? Is that okay, YouTube? Is that okay, Facebook? Do I need a permission note from my mother? Do I need a hall pass? Is it okay if I lift my own voice and song and sing? So I'm gonna invite all of you for this segment. I'm gonna put the lyrics out and invite you to sing along because I find that singing, and I don't have okay. Disclaimer, I do not have a good voice, but I find that singing opens up my lungs. It makes me feel more positive and extroverted. It's hard to believe, but there was a time when I was kind of shy. Even after surgery, they kind of like encourage you to do breathing exercises. It helps you to breathe and center yourself. So we're going to take a few minutes, at least I'm going to invite you to take a few minutes to sing along with me. Feel free to sing along. You are my friend. I never knew it till then. My friend, my friend. You hold my hand. You might not say a word, but I see your tears when I show my pain. You're my friend. I never knew it till then. My friend, I feel your love when you're not near. It helps me make it knowing you care. The thought of you helps me. Another commercial break? Hello, this is the final segment of Yo, I'm Alive Morning Wellness with Wadulisi, and this is the spiritual segment. Um, I just like to close out as a spiritual person and being centered in kind of my emotional wellness. But I want to be clear that while my higher power, I'm a Christian, I respect all faiths. And I like to say, start by saying something positive about a different faith to show you that I really mean it. And something that I like about Buddhism, because I had a friend who was a very devout Buddhist, I like the chanting, I like the meditation, I like the way that Buddhism centers you and tries to elevate you to a higher place, and kind of do the chanting center you in kind of like a spiritual out of body experience, and I think that's kind of a wonderful revelation. So for this segment, um, I'm gonna just read some scripture, usually for a psalm, a few words from a psalm or a psalm, and you can make it whatever you want to make it. I know a lot of women my age and older who love to start their morning with some verses, and so I'm just gonna read for this one, Psalm 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. Now I know that's a heavy scripture, and I'm not going to preach to you. I'm just going to read from the Psalms, and I'm reading them in order because I don't want it to be like I am pointing fingers or saying anything. So that's Psalm 1, and I like to take a few moments, as whenever I can, but at least weekly, to look at some spiritual revelation, some spiritual contemplation. And for me, it's the Bible. But for other people, it's whatever, the Book of Mormons, the Quran, whatever book is your a spiritual place. I invite you to take a moment and center yourself there in the morning. So Psalm 1, and it is what it is. And I hope that it lands in a positive place for you. Thank you for listening. So again, thank you for being a part of Yo, I'm Alive Morning Wellness with Wadulisi. It's been a wonderful experience, and I hope to see you again next week. If you like what you saw or you like what you see, please do subscribe to this channel, and I do welcome all comments. Hopefully, I'll see you next week. Okay, so a slight disclaimer. While I do welcome all letters and correspondences from persons, and I just want to say clearly that this is more a peer program, and I'm not a trained mental health practitioner. So if you're experiencing anything like um, serious, persistent, negative thoughts or negative thinking, and you have some sort of like traumatic experiences, then it's probably better for you to consult a trained or certified mental health practitioner, and not, write to me about anything that is beyond my scope of practice. Now, to help you with this, I developed what I consider a litmus test. Is kind of like a simple scale from 0 to 5 of what might be as an issue that I can handle. So 0 would be this issue makes you feel like you want to sigh on a scale, and 5 would be it makes you want to cry. So for an example of an issue, let's say that you just went shopping and you bought groceries and your refrigerator broke down. So on using my litmus test, my scale on a scale of 0 to 5, you probably are at a 4. You're probably wanting to cry because you lost $200 worth of groceries, meat, and dairy, and produce. You're probably also close to road rage with your landlord, your superintendent. It might involve your property manager, and it might even involve the Maytag salesperson of the refrigerator. So that's probably not something that I can handle. It's not my scope of practice. It's not appropriate for me. Now, another example of something that might be a letter that's kind of appropriate for me is, so let's say you write to me, hey, Wadulisi, I saw your show and I really enjoyed your breathing exercise, but unfortunately I'm a quadriplegic, so I can't really raise my hands. Okay, so if you send me a letter like that and you said, well, can you suggest some other breathing exercise, I would think about, say, maybe on a scale of 0 to 5, I do feel a little bit of the zero like sign, but I think I can handle that. So let's try. Let's do a breathing exercise that does not involve your hands or your legs. We could say, inhale and then go count backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, positive. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, negative. So hey, that's a letter I could handle. So on a scale of 0 to 5, that's kind of a 0, and that you can write to me about. Thank you.